Looks like our best chance of survival lies in the hands of my rebel son, a child genius and a wannabe karaoke singer. In short, we're doomed.
Marathon Media, now known as Zodiac Kids, is the creator of shows like Totally Spies, Martin Mysteries, The Amazing Spies, Gormity, Mission Odyssey, and so many more. But today we are going to be looking at Team Galaxy, which is one of their lesser known shows, co-produced by Marathon Media, Image Entertainment Corporation, France Free, Ray Fiction, and Jetix Europe. That's how old this show is. I first discovered this show existed when I made my video about the once great channel Jetix, and upon finding out it was made by the same people who made my beloved Totally Spies, I was intrigued. Team Galaxy was about these three kids at a space marshal school, and we follow this trio trying to become space marshals and still trying to be normal teenagers, or the future version of normal teenagers. There is a conversation to be had about how often these shows raise child soldiers and make them work for free under the guise of doing their heroic duty to save the world, but that's for another time. It aired on Cartoon Network in America, YTV in Canada, and CITV, as well as Jetix in the UK. The first episode is called The New Recruit, where this kid called Craig joins the school and is so perfect and talented that everyone loves him, except Yoko over here, who thinks he is too perfect and becomes determined to expose him. Yoko also murders the villain in this episode. They do not pull punches in Galaxy High. Don't get on Yoko's bad side. I think this is an excellent first episode. It shows what the space marshals do, which is protecting the galaxy from all sorts of threats. We see how them being so good at their job makes the space marshals a target for certain people, and they try and get rid of them. This episode also shows us the key dynamic and traits of our core three. We learn Josh is a thrill-seeking bad boy who is the son of the principal, that Brett here is a child prodigy who wants to prove himself, and Yoko is a creative genius who excels at all things artistic except for singing. The literal first thing we see is Josh taking their spaceship for a reckless joyride and Yoko and Brett trying to calm him down. That is very much the dynamic of most episodes. Even though these three are very different people, their skills and personality balance each other out and make up for the other's shortcomings. Now I want to talk about all the key characters of Team Galaxy, talking about their personality and character growth across the series, exploring the positives and their flaws. Firstly, we have Yoko, who is one of our main three and the only girl on the main team. She does not want to be there sometimes. She makes it known in almost every episode that if given the opportunity, she would quit Galaxy High and become famous. Be that by singing, dancing, juggling, any of her many talents she will use to rise to stardom. She just wants fame. Also, she can't sing, so I recommend she sticks to her other artistic pursuits. She isn't just looking for easy fame too. She's willing to put in the work, like when she decides to become a weather girl and actually learn the meaning of both space and earth weather patterns just for a chance to be on TV. All that knowledge does end up saving the day. She also became the school mascot again to try and get more fame. She will do anything to add to her popularity. However, sometimes her pursuit of fame gets in the way of the mission or ends up putting her in danger, like in the episode Miss Cosmos, where they stop to get fuel and she learns that it's a beauty pageant, so she convinces the team to go and they almost end up dying. But Yoko is not completely self-absorbed, like in the episode Matchmaker and Planet Good Times. She tries to do kind things for her teachers from the kindness of her heart. I mean, they both almost die because of her kindness, but at least she tried. And she did almost get everyone all murdered because she saw a cute fluffy animal and decided to take it home from an alien planet. To be honest, this little face would work on me too. I am the type of person to die trying to cuddle a bear. Josh is the ultimate nepo baby. He's always said to get the best missions, but he does also sometimes get bad missions as punishments from his dad. Josh has admitted to breaking every school rule, but his father refuses to expel him. That was until he committed a heinous crime in one of the episodes that I will vaguely talk about later. Even when the principal does try and punish Josh, he struggles to come up with something to make Josh stop his disobedient ways, like in the episode Intergalactic Exchange.
Assignment has nothing to do with Josh's discipline. That begins the moment you return.
What is it?
I have no idea.
Josh puts on a persona of a bad boy sucker without fear, but he is able to be a good space marshal when it counts, like in the episode H2No. He has to overcome his fear of the water to save his classmates. He's also known as a prankster, whose pranks sometimes get his whole team in trouble, and it does sometimes lead to mass chaos, like in the episode When Josh Attacks, and he learns nothing from those experiences, which is slightly concerning. The last member of the main team, or well, human member, is Brett. He's clearly the youngest of the group, and he's the only one who's dedicated to becoming a space marshal. This is what he wants for his future career, unlike his other two teammates, who are doing everything in their power to leave the school, as Yoko wants to be a famous yodeling, juggling mime, and Josh wants to be a lazy biker. Whilst being one of the smartest in school, he's also one of the smallest, and often feels inferior to his classmates, and it doesn't help that his teammates and classmates enjoy reminding him of his shortcomings, pun intended. So he ends up going to extremes in episodes like Emperor Brett and Alien Brett, where he tries to change himself to prove that he's just as capable as the other other space marshals, and then it all goes wrong because, of course. Then there's Fluffy, who is the only non-human member of the team. He's this robot dog creature that every team at Galaxy High has, called an Ultra Pet, but they have different animals. If I'm being honest, Fluffy is the true hero of the show. When Brett, Yoko, and Josh get captured, which is in most episodes, he is there to save the day with his cuteness and his robotic abilities. These three, including Fluffy, are always getting into trouble. They get punished for it by doing chores, but considering what they do, they get off easy. That is until the episode Circus of the Stars, where they encounter these three space racers who challenge them to a race, and Josh manages to convince the rest of his team to agree, but they race and they lose, and the racers take their Hornet, which is what they call their ships that the space marshals fly. When Principal Kirkpatrick finds out about this, they expect to be on cleaning duty, but apparently losing a Hornet the way they did is an expellable offense, and they all get kicked out this time. This episode made zero sense to me. They have done way worse things than this. I'm pretty sure they've blown up Hornet, but apparently losing a Hornet is worse than blowing one up. All three of them have almost gotten Galaxy High destroyed multiple times, but losing a spaceship that they can replace is the final straw. People have almost died because of the decisions of these three. I'm not even arguing against expelling them. Yeah, they save the day a lot, but they are usually the catalyst to the danger in the first place. I'm just saying it's insane what finally gets them kicked out. Obviously, because they are the main protagonists, it all works out for them in the end, but I feel like the school's rules are insane. You have almost gotten eaten because of these three, but oh no, they lost a spaceship. Now that I've covered the main three, I want to talk about some of the side characters that I feel like need to be talked about. There's Principal Kirkpatrick, who is the principal as I've mentioned, and he's also Josh's father. He's determined to get Josh to become a rule-following marshal, but fails every time. He's in his 40s, and the show is set in 2050s, so if your last name is Kirkpatrick, this could be you in 20 years. Next we have Bobby, who is one of the classmates of the main team. Him and Josh have some form of rivalry, where Bobby is always trying to prove that he's better. He is not. That's not even me being biased. I'm surprised he's still alive. He is clumsy and stupid, and he's a wuss.
We'll have to all bail on Bobby for it!
I'm out of here!
He
left Josh and his team to die whilst he made an escape, then lied about it.
And then I made sure that Josh and his team were safe before coming back. What? They made it? I mean, they made it!
I'm just happy his ship will get shot out of the sky a lot because he deserves it. Not all the recurring characters are human. There are several teachers and students that are a different species, such as Mr. S or Spavid. You also sometimes see other background characters that are not human too. We don't really learn anything about them. I made a segment on my channel called The School of Kelby for when a show or movie I discuss has a fictional school that I think is unusual. So I wanted to talk about Galaxy High in the show Team Galaxy. This segment has 3 categories: food, education, and safety. So let's start the School of Kelby. The first category is food, where I discuss the standards of food. For the most part, it looks like normal food. I was expecting weirder food for a sci-fi show. Some of it's slightly futuristic, but for a show that's set in the future, it's very tame.
I go for the veggie Venus burger, or try a slice of deep space quiche, or just stick with my old fave.
Especially considering humans and aliens live together. When the teams travel to different planets, the food does get weirder, but for the most part in the school, the food is very, very normal. But this show is set on Earth, so it's not that shocking that the food is so similar to regular food. The main episode of weird food in the school is in the episode Brett's Brain, where Principal Kirkpatrick gets rid of the regular food in the cafeteria and replaces it with these pills to get the students used to the type of food they will eat when they go pro and become official space marshals. Since it tastes nice, none of the students complain, except for Yoko. When the machine malfunctions and they go back to regular food, overall the food does not seem deadly or dangerous to the children, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as it is edible and well liked in most episodes. Education is second category. Since this is a sci-fi show, they use a bunch of sci nonsense and technical terms in their classes. The main classes we see are Alien Culture class, Astronomy, Advanced Tech class, and Physical Training. The most educational episode we see is the episode Super Spavid, where we learn about the classrooms of Spavid and Spavid's people. Spavid is one of the only non-human space marshals who actually has a name that we see in the show. In this episode, Spavid goes through a coming of age ceremony and becomes an adult, and the educational aspects of the episode is led by Mr. S. While some of the teachers in the school seem a bit eccentric, they seem good at their job considering none of the students die, so I'm guessing the education is okay. 8 out of 10. The final category is safety. Since this is a school that sends children as young as 10 to do life-threatening missions, they're not going to score high here. In the first episode, the school was almost frozen solid. No, in the 52 episodes, the school was invaded over a dozen times. At the end of the episode, they usually imprison the villain and bring them back to Galaxy High because their prison is in the school, manned by students. It's great to have 17-year-olds doing all your illegal work and guarding very dangerous and deadly prisoners. I give them a 1 out of 10, since as a school, yes, it is not safe, but the kids have been given the weapons and knowledge to protect and save themselves. That at the end of the School of Kelby. Outside of child endangerment, Galaxy High seems to be one of the best schools from what we see in the episode where there is a student exchange, in the episode Intergalactic Exchange, but that is because the school charges a pretty hefty tuition so they could afford to be one of the best schools. I find it insane that the school charges tuition. Who is spending money to get their child possibly blown up or enslaved, which happens in several episodes. One of the students in the main class that we see is a literal princess. Why would you send royalty to this school? In the episode Marshall for a Week, they think that the school has somehow run out of money, so do you want to guess what they did? They cut food, electricity and water, which I am pretty sure is a human rights violation. Considering this is a child soldier school, clearly the rules do not apply to them. I wish this show explored more of the future Earth, but it didn't. This show was set in the year 2050, so less than 30 years from now, and I want to know what changes happened whilst Galaxy High is on the Earth. Galaxy High is in a dome a lot of the time, and we rarely see outside of it. The main time we did see outside of Galaxy High's walls was when Yoko, Josh and Brett get expelled in the episode Circus of the Stars, but we see that sending your bad kids to military school is still a thing. We also see Yoko working at an old people's home and Brett sent to a normal school filled with gross naughty kids. I don't know why Yoko was working and not sent to a regular high school, but not important. From these rare glimpses outside of Galaxy High, it seems pretty much the same to how it is now, which is shocking. From what we can tell in this show, humanity has somehow made contact with aliens, developed tech that allows for ease of space travel. They have made an intergalactic space force and allowed aliens to take residence on Earth, yet somehow everything outside of Galaxy High looks the same. And it's not that Galaxy High is a new thing, it has been around for at least 15 years from the clues that they've dropped throughout the show. One thing I find weird about this show is its use of the term alien. Like in the episode when Josh is announcing that the school is being attacked, he screams about aliens. Half of the student body and teachers are not Earthlings, so screaming about aliens attacking does not seem very helpful to me. It wouldn't really prepare anyone for an attack. There are millions of aliens, so I would recommend specifying. Ignoring all my jokes and criticisms of the school, this show was really enjoyable. I have watched 4 shows by Marathon Media, and this show rivals Totally Spies for me. Personally, I very much enjoyed this show and wish more people knew about it. As of right now, all the episodes are free on YouTube, or you can watch them on Amazon Prime. This show, like Totally Spies, also has 1 season to 1 school year, so if the show had more seasons, we might have seen them graduate, but it only had 2 seasons. It had 52 episodes and ended in 2008. I like a lot of the characters in this show. Unlike Totally Spies, Murder Mystery and The Amazing Spies, the side characters seem to have lives of their own outside of what the main trio are doing. I watched 7 seasons of Totally Spies and I still forget Mandy's sidekicks' names. I definitely do not remember the teachers of Totally Spies' names. This show has a lot of memorable technology like the Hornets, the Defenders, and other things. Yoko, Josh and Brett have their own unique gadgets, the Sonic Blaster being my favourite. So if you liked what I said so far, you can go watch. There are so many episodes to go watch. There was one weird episode. In the episode Super Spavid, Kirkpatrick randomly changes his hairstyle, and I was so confused, and no one in the show mentioned it. It's not deeply important, but I was so confused. That would be all. Tell me, did you watch Team Galaxy when it came out? Are you going to go watch it now that I've spoken about it? Goodbye.